We have already talked about the importance that public services should follow technological progress. Now let me invite Mario Complat, the Secretary of State of Digitalization and Administrative Modernization. Welcome.
Muito boa tarde a todos.
Good afternoon. I don't know I don't know if the reason why so many people are leaving the room is because I'm now on stage. I would like to greet my dear friend Rogério, the president of APDC, and Cesar Vieira, my dear friend, who's the chairman of the Congress. And of course, I would like to greet the chairpersons, Cristina Esteves, João Felipe Faria, and all those who are here today or remotely following us via the digital means. First, I would like to thank for the opportunity to be here and for having been invited for this event. And as the chairman of this Congress stated in an opinion article, this is the big event to give us the state of play of what's happening in the digital world and also to debate its impacts in the economy and society at large. So, as we look upon the recent past and study the present to anticipate the future, we should also look at the role of disruption and look at the role of disruption from an historic perspective. And this is what I would like to do. For a long time, we had the perception that disruption was always linked to a rupture, a sudden rupture, to a sudden cut with something that it was previously linked to. And in fact, we have many examples, phenomena such as the transition of political regimes, as the case of the French Revolution, where quickly the country went from absolutism to a republic country, or in Portugal, where in a coup in one day we overthrew a regime that was in power for 48 years. Disruption happens in a given moment, however, and I know about the criticism made about slowness. The European Union, and today we celebrate the Day of Europe, I believe I can state it is a clear living example of disruption. Being the Day of Europe, I must say that when we look at the European continent, and today it's difficult to say what I'm going to say now, we never had peace and prosperity among the main players of the European continent. With this, I mean, maybe before we discuss the next wave of disruption and that feeling that it should assume, maybe we should reflect upon the concept of disruption. Is disruption only a function of speed, the speed at which events take place? Or does it result also from the size, the depth, the social reach, economic, political reach? Today, being here on this stage and after receiving the invitation, I ask, who am I truly? Am I Mário Campo Largo, the engineer, for those who didn't know? Also a technology enthusiast. Maybe I'm here also reflecting the many years where I was a staff member of the European Commission and also being here as the Secretary of State. Each one of us and myself, I'm all these things, and I would like to carry out a reflection of disruption in technology and disruption in our continent. And I would like to say that somehow the results of the European Union in Portugal are in themselves symptoms and catalysts of a national disruption, and this is also a reflection of an European disruption. Given my age, I easily recognize that the Portugal of today, the Portugal where I was born, is not truly the same Portugal that I serve as a Secretary of State. Long back, when I was young, there was the need of remittances from immigrants to support the economy, the inflation of the 60s and 70s, the devaluations of the depreciation of the currency, escudo, and all these events, depending on how we saw them, somehow are disruptive. And I believe we have evidence that Portugal changed also by joining at the time the EEC to the European Union, and this was in 1st of January 86. The recovery and resilience plan resulting from a highly disruptive event, COVID-19, and also the collective European response to the economic crisis caused by this health crisis are, from my viewpoint, one or two examples that are concrete and recent at a time when the European Union was swift in its decisions and also decided cohesively. It's true that Portugal, between 86 and 2022, what it received from its peers transformed the country, providing infrastructures and physical capital, but also very important human capital, promoting a more efficient management of resources, and several sectors transitioned so that science and technology became today part of the learning of each citizen. In a nutshell, it enabled a country with significant backwardness to conquer its academic and professional competences up to levels similar to the best in the world. My dear friends, this is truly the success of Portugal and therefore of the European Union, what we should underscore today in this forum. And this is a way forward made up by the resilience and plan, but the sources of Europe and its funds are not eternal. Portugal will have to do more with its resources and those it can generate. And I'm saying this because I know it. But being this the Day of Europe, and the European Union will not be built on a single moment, but with moments of crisis and gradually throughout time, we should truly believe that disruption is the new normal. When in 2003 there was the qualification of first human genome, it took 13 years and the cost was around $19 million. Today we talk about complete genomic sequencing sold at $150, and it's available in 48 hours. AI, so trendy today, first defined by Alan Turing, although it was not able to do the famous test, can draft today scientific articles based upon very few interactions with a person. It's worthwhile remembering that the technology of ChatGPT took 9 years to develop. However, 5 days were enough to reach 5 million users and 55 days to reach 100 million users. To this extent, it becomes obvious that we need to cause disruption in our economic, social, and industrial fabric, and also to accept that progress in previous generation happened every 150 or 10 years. Today, they emerge apparently and happen immediately. Is it the case that disruption is related with speed, but also with size and also the impact? I believe it is clear, given these examples, that today the answer is both. Having said this, my dear friends, we will face this historic moment as we've always done, collectively, in solidarity and in a fair way, based upon the ethical, moral principles of a humanist route that should foster the development of the different technologies in our society. Among those who see in technology the salvation or that we will be doomed, we have those, where I include myself, who believe in the inexhaustible capacity of the human being to overcome itself. Of course, we need to make sure that people control the innovation and decision process, that we prepare the population to understand the benefits and risks of technology, that we develop an harmonious relationship between the human being and the machine. But if we collectively embrace these causes as our own, and they are, I'm sure we will be able to overcome these challenges and disruptions that will happen in each moment of our lives. Our future plans will be as big as our capacity to implement them allows. Therefore, it is important to pinpoint the competitive advantages of our scientific technological system at the level of AI or other disruptive technologies, and to test ways so as to produce clusters and hubs that will enable to attract, retain, and make talent and innovation grow in this field that will generate yet further disruptions. And when finishing my short address, I would like to be provocative. What is the best evidence that we need of people that were chosen because of their talents and all those that we know here? Of course, we will continue to work. I will continue to work hard in this government to make easier and simpler the life of people, of businesses, and also the life of public administration. For you, present here today or hearing me remotely, this is at the same time a commitment and a challenge, so that you are engaged on this and other fundamental initiatives using your critical reasoning, so that this is a Portugal of prosperity, fairness, inclusion, facing the future with trust. In this and in other fora, your contribution helps us to define priorities and to understand obstacles that need to be overcome. I rely on you. Thank you.
Well, finally, it's almost the end of our first day of the 32nd APDC Congress. Many important things were said about disruption, and also some news came out. And tomorrow, the menu promises even more. We will be speaking about AI, cybersecurity, and many other topics. And also, quantum communication and the importance of telecommunication infrastructures. And so we are counting on your presence, and we hope that it will be one more productive day. So we're closing this first day, but don't leave your seats, because I'll be leaving you with Carlone, and I will be handing awards, which is very relevant. See you tomorrow, and you will be listening now to Carolina. The interpreters would like to say that there is no interpretation for this award ceremony. Thank you.